What's up, guys? It's your boy Skorge. So we're gonna get right into this music cutting tutorial for IMVU. So first things first, what you want to get is this program called Audacity. It's completely free. Just go ahead and go and Google it and get it downloaded. Second thing you're gonna want to do is pick your song, of course. It can really be anything, but I'd stay away from mainstream songs or like very well known artists, because ever since IMVU took away the credit selling and stuff like that, they pushed copyright because they made it to where black creators can get paid real money, and of course you cannot make actual profit off of somebody else's music. So therefore they pushed copyright upon products. This includes clothing logos, brand names, and music. You can't make money off their products. So go ahead and get you a song downloaded. I prefer remixes because you can't really copyright a remix, because I mean you can, it's just not likely to happen. So go ahead, pick your song, download it, open up Audacity, and I'll walk you through the next steps. So right here I'm going to be choosing the song Broken Chains by Phase 1. You just drag it in, load it in, or you can just go to File, Open, pick your song, and it'll load right up. So I'll walk you through how I do all of my work, how you can do it a lot quicker. You'll also learn how to fit a lot of triggers into one box. A lot of people will be having trouble with that, and I'll show you my ways of how to make the quality, how to make the file size lower without really touching the quality. So go ahead and load your song up, and it's going to look like this. At the bottom left, before you do anything, press Control A, and that's going to highlight this entire song. Go on the bottom left over here, it's on project rate, the hertz. It should be at 44,100. Go ahead, click that, make it 32,000. And this is basically going to lower the file size. It's going to lower the quality a little bit, but it's not enough to be noticed. So that's why I do 32,000 hertz. Alright, so next thing what you're going to want to do is IMVU, whether you realize it or not, is super loud with all the effects and everything like that. You want to boost the song so that the effects and voice boxes don't override it, otherwise it'll be too quiet. So how do we do that? As long as the track is highlighted, come up here to Effect, Amplify, and I used to do 5.0 amplification, but I think Audacity kind of upgraded and it's like really distorted and stuff now. So we'll probably do 3.0. You can look at your little waveform marks up here and look at the peaks of them. If they're like all the way up here and stuff, like it's probably going to be too loud and distorted. So we're going to click Allow Clipping once you get the right amplification. You don't have, like, all songs are different. You might have to go higher, you might have to go lower. We might have to edit it. I don't know yet. So let's click OK. And that looks like it would peak fine. Look through the highest peaks of the song. Just click it and play it. And that sounds beautiful as is. So mine was at 3.0. If yours just messed up, just go here to Edit and undo the amplify, or you can just press Control Z, go to Effects, Amplify, change it to something lower, like if it's not 4.0, go 3.0. If it's not 3.0, 2.5, and so on and so forth until you get it right. So now that we know it's nice, look down here at the very bottom where it says Start and End of Selection. These arrows right here is probably going to be set at milliseconds for you, so it probably looks like this with an extra 0. Go ahead and change this to hundredths. because that's going to be the most easiest and accurate for you to read. Milliseconds is too long, and if you do tenths, you're not going to get the right cuts, because I'll explain why. I'm a subgenre fanatic. I know a lot of things about subgenres, glitch hop, BPMs, drum and bass, stuff like that. So BPM is going to be different, which means the timing is going to be different for a lot of these. We're going to cut by beat, not by time. I hate it when people cut by time, like they just put 12 seconds and they just cut it all the way through in 12 seconds. Do not do that. We're not going to do that. I'm going to teach you guys how to cut by beat, and I'm going to try to explain the details behind what it means to cut by beat. So after you have set this to hundreds, let's go ahead and get started. So obviously this is going to be around the beginning of the song, this little tail at the front of it. Dubstep songs at 140, 150, it'll go about 12 seconds, about 12.80 seconds or so. So what we're going to do is we're going to try to figure out exactly what amount of seconds are along this song, and we can find that out just by simply doing the intro. And it looks like this is going to be a little bit of a longer intro, because this little tail part from the intro kind of fades it in, and then this is the actual intro right here, so we're probably going to have to move that in with it, so we're going to make it a little bit longer. So let's see how this turns out. Alright, so once you basically have it highlighted in the general area, hit that start selection. It's going to be this guy in the middle, these middle zeros, and you can just boost it all the way up to like 12, and that'll pretty much skip ahead, so you don't have to hear the whole thing. You just want to know when it ends, because you got to know when the trigger ends. So that's what's most important, is that when it ends. So let's go ahead and see where this is going to end at. Okay, so I heard the beat hitting. You heard the drum kit, the drum kicks coming in a little bit too early, so we're going to change this probably to 16. Alright, maybe a little bit further, 1630. Let's boost this up a little bit more, so we're getting closer. Alright, a little bit more. A little bit more. Okay, a little bit more. It might be 60 or it might be 55. Okay, maybe a little bit more. Alright, so a little bit less. That sounds about right. So what we can do now is it's ending at 16:62, 16 minutes and 62 milliseconds. So let's go ahead and make this 16:62. That's gonna be the start of the next trigger. So you just want to make sure that you got it down. And just like that, I can already tell it's right on point, because it ended right and it came out right on the next part. So we got our intro down. So now what we want to do is, once you got your first cut, you want to go up here to File. You want to go to Export and export selected audio. Don't export as OGG, because it's just going to export the entire track. You don't want that. You just want that selected cut. Alright, so now when it peaks right here, you see this little scroll, this quality bar right here. Drag that bar all the way down to 0. That's going to lower the file size without actually touching the quality of the song. If you don't see this right here, there'll be an options tab right there. Click it and then you'll see it there. So what we got to do is place this in a folder. Make yourself a folder. I just put my name so I know what it is. Alright, and then I title the song and I put the genre. That's just how I do my shop. I always put the song name and then the genre of the track. You can have it whatever you want. I don't care if it's artist, song name, or whatever. just make sure that whoever's shopping you knows what it is. Alright, so we go into that folder, and the song is called Broken Chains, so you want the trigger to be relevant to the song name. So some people might like bro 1 for broken, or like CHA for chains. I'm just gonna put BC for broken chains, and then you want to title it 1 because that's your first trigger. So then go ahead and save that, click OK, and you have your first cut. Now instead of going to 1662 and then starting there, we are actually going to press Control X, and that deletes that first part, so we can just focus on how many seconds we're kind of directing towards, and you'll see as you catch on. It'll help keep organized and keep the track clean, straightforward. But anyways, just press Control X when you have your first trigger, or you can just go to Edit and then Cut, and it says Control X right there. So now we're done with the intro. So now we really have to, since like I said the intro was a little bit longer, we're going to try to find the actual general time of this track, because once you find that general time, chances are the track's probably going to be ending in that same time, just due to the BPM and how that cooperates with timing. So like I said, dubstep is usually around high 12 seconds, so we're going to try 1280. Now that we're at 1280, we're going to decipher if that's correct. So what we can do is go ahead to the end of this track, type in like 10 or 11 seconds. I usually do 10 just so I can focus better on the ending, and we'll play it out and see where it ends. Okay, so maybe it might be a little bit overhead. I'm listening for the snare. When you cut by beat, you wanna count by every other snare, and then make sure it goes to 16 bars. And I'll explain that when we get to the drop, just because the drop is a lot more simple to follow with. It's literally just kick, snare. And the more you do this by beat, the more you'll follow up with what I'm trying to say. This is a little bit more complicated because it's metal, and there's a lot of kicks and snares and all that noise going on. So let's try 13. We'll boost this up to like 12. Okay, so you want to hit it at that, you want to hit it right there. Yeah, that part right there. That might be it. Now let's see, we'll go to 1320 and then see what the next clip sounds like. I heard a little bit of popping, so I'm gonna boost it up just a little bit more, so like maybe 13.25. Okay, 13.25. That sounded perfect. There was no clipping or anything like that. Ended completely right on point, began completely right on point. I'm just that OCD. It doesn't have to be perfect the way I'm doing it, but of course, why not? I mean, it's going to be around the same time anyways. As long as you're not being lazy with it, you'll get done with it in no time. So alright, so we'll go to export again, export selected audio. It should already be in the folder. If not, locate your folder, and then we're going to put BC2. We're going to go ahead and save that and cut. And you just pretty much follow along with that same method over and over. So that was at 1325. So we'll see if that was correct. Okay, that sounded like it might have been it. So 1325. Yeah, sounds about right. Let's see. I usually just be precise with it and go 1324. Yeah, that sounded even better. So we'll make this 1324. Yeah, perfect. See, that doesn't take any time at all, just to make sure it's nice and perfect. But like I said, you don't have to. Just be as close as you possibly can, because DJs love that. Control X, take that away. 1325. Skip ahead. Okay, that sounded about right. Let's go with 1325, see if it hit on point. Absolutely, so we found our time. It's going to be 1325. However, I'm still going to listen all the way, always at the end, because you never know. I mean, the BPM could be so precise that it fucks up the time like later on, so you always want to be sure. Otherwise, you're going to come out with one screwed up project and you're going to have to do it all over again. It doesn't hurt to be safe, so go ahead, save that, clip it, and then here's where I will explain the what was it called? The metronomes, the 16 bars. You want to follow along with every other snare, so I'm going to count with you. It should end up in 4 fingers, because you're going to hear the snare going on. Kick, snare, kick, snare. That's going to be 1. Kick, snare, kick, snare. That's 2. So on and so forth, and you'll see what I mean. Just like that. So you'll be able to follow along with for every other snare. That last part, you couldn't really hear that snare hit because it's got such a unique pattern behind it. But trust me, you'll definitely get there. You'll see what I mean. So we'll go 1325. Make sure it ended right. Yeah, it sounds confusing because it's just the way that the pattern started out. Didn't start out with a kick that time. It just kind of started out as a filler. Don't let that confuse you. So that's going to definitely be the beginning of that. Alright, so let's give another example. We're at 1325. As long as you're like kind of jamming your head to it, you'll get that rhythm down. You'll see, like, you should jam your head down like 16 times, 16 bars. So let's see. I heard a little clip at the end. That's why it's 1324 this time. I don't like clipping when it goes into the next part. I don't want to hear the next part at all. And that's perfect. See what I mean by it might change over time? It went like a millisecond over. And that doesn't seem like a big deal, but the more you go down the track, all the way down here, it's probably going to get less and less, and so on and so forth. It's going to mess it up. So that's going to be trigger 6. Delete that. 1325. Go ahead and skip ahead. This is how I do it like really fast, is because when I'm definitely not showing you guys, I'm being slowed down by talking right now, but this is literally all I do, is I just skip ahead to the end of the trigger and I listen for the end, and that's literally it. Okay, that one's kind of confusing. Let's see what's going on. Alright, let's see. Alright, so I don't like that clipping, so we're gonna clip that one. Alright, so we're going to see how that sounded as 1320. Yep, so that's it. And if you guys are really unsure, you can always start all the way at the beginning just to make sure. Yeah, that was definitely it. So now that's the 7th. 1325. We want to go back to the original. Even though that one ended at 1320, we're going to go back to 1325 just in case it fixed itself. Okay. Yep, see how I mean? It kind of fixed itself. So as long as you catch up with it, it'll catch up with you. Alright, so that's the 8th trigger. Delete that. 1325. And yours isn't gonna be 1325 unless it's another dubstep song that's the same exact BPM. I mean, this works with, you know, glitch hop and stuff like that. Glitch hop is at 110 BPM usually, so that's probably gonna be shorter trigs. That's probably gonna end at around 8 or 9 seconds. So just make sure that those kicks, I think it should either be 8 or 16. As long as you count like 16 kicks and you're moving along with your fingers and stuff like that, you know you're good. Sometimes I make my cuts like 9 seconds if they're quick paced. But I'm just showing you guys dubstep because it's the most simplest thing that you can follow, and then you can move up to trap and metal and pop, all of that good stuff. You can get more complicated with it. Oh, 1325. Oh no, that's not what I wanted. 1325. Yeah, it ends weird there, but you can hear that next trigger, how you hear that effects hit right there. Like, that's just how you can tell that was the beginning of the next bar. Alright, 1325. Go ahead and skip. Yeah, that sounded beautiful. Yep, it is beautiful. Absolutely. Started exactly where we want. Those of you who have got it already, you feel free to skip this. You can go ahead and skip to the next part of what I'm about to show you whenever I'm all done. You'll see my Audacity cleared out. Otherwise, I'll just keep on doing this unless some people are still having trouble. Just kind of follow along with me. Alright, so go ahead and skip. That sounded good. Yep, exactly. And see how we found our primary time, so now it's like smooth sailing. Yep. And this is exactly how I do it so fast, is because I literally just skip. I heard a little chop right there, and I don't want it there, so we're gonna fix that. Yeah, that sounds good. Yeah, so that's good. That's definitely good. Alright, so this is actually one where it falls into trap, but it's the same exact genre, same time, it's just different beat. So all it is an 808 instead of a straight kick, and it's just a little snippy snap snare. So we're just gonna follow along at the same time. Alright, let's see what the next trigger. Yep. Some parts are quiet, do not let that fool you. Because like I said, that's just the start of the next pattern. It's literally the beginning of the next metronome, so I mean, it's still following along with that same beat. Just instead of a kick, they wanted to use perks or like percussions or something else. Okay, sounds good. Okay, so this is the 20-minute mark right here. So I think it's pointless to kind of add 2 triggers when it's just going to be a fade out. So what I'm going to do is we're going to start that at 20 seconds, and then literally that gray area is that last trigger. So I'm just going to Control X, use this, and I'm going to do my own fade out, and I'll do it about right here. We can go to Effect, Fade Out, and you can make your own fade out just like that. And this is just the things that I do. And you don't have to monitor the time or anything. 20 seconds is the maximum time of a trigger can go to. So that's why it ends at 20 seconds. So you don't have anything to modify. It's just straightforward. You're cutting the rest of it. Go to File, Export, selected audio, make this your last trigger. So it's 17 triggers right there. And we are done. So we can go ahead and leave Audacity, and you don't have to save it if you don't want to. I mean, there's nothing really to save after that. Alright, so now we're going to come into IMVU. We're going to go ahead and go into Create. We're going to derive a new product. And you can use my code. It's an empty derivable box for anybody who wants to use it. I don't care if you use it. It costs like 300 credits to use, I believe. But the code is 21523323. And I'll leave that code in the description so you can copy and paste it or anything like that. So click go. And holy shit, look at there. This looks complicated as hell. It's not. Some of you are probably creators already from clothes and stuff like that. You already know where everything is. But if not, if you're brand new to the shop, this is easy peasy. You literally don't have to look at anything but actions over here in the top right. Click actions and it'll say action 0. Don't let that confuse you. This is going to be trigger 1. So BC1, you're going to type in your triggers. Open up your folder and just load in your OGG files. This is why we named them the trigger names. Go to add. Whenever you're done with this one, just click add and it'll pop up a new one. That's BC2. Add, BC2, open, add, BC3, add, and open. So I mean, it's pretty straightforward. Just remember your position where it's at, because it's gonna say action 3, but really I'm on trigger 4 because it starts at 0, but we always start at 1 when we're doing DJ stuff. So BC5. The way I see it is, if you get lost and you see what action it is, it's gonna be 1 over. That's how I always remember it, and you'll get used to it after cutting for a while. So then this is 7. And you can actually copy the trigger. Oops. And then you can just go ahead and paste it with Control V. So you literally Control V, press the number, and that can go by fast, especially when you have longer trigs. 10. My camera's wobbly because my laptop is sitting on a wobbly surface right now, so I apologize for that. 10. Oh, I'm sorry, this is 11. See, I got confused because it says action 10, but this is actually trigger 11. It's 12. Luckily, if you mess up, you can always just go in and add OGG and replace it. 13. 14. 15. 16, 17. Alright, and we are absolutely done. So once you get all of your triggers done, click apply changes, save, and upload. You can actually, after you click apply changes, you can actually type in the triggers with your little avatar standing there. So if you want to test it out before actually submitting it, you can do that. And actually what I'm going to do is start on my artwork for it, because where is it at? There it is. Because I mean, I like actually working on my artwork after I'm done with Audacity, just so I'll already have it ready to upload. I use Photoshop. You can use you can make your picture wherever you want. Use a free photo editor or anything like that. You can just get your pictures off of Google or anything like that for real. But since I already saved mine as a template, you know, I'm pretty much good to go. So now we just gotta wait for this to load, and I'll catch you as soon as I'm done. Alright, so anyways, I just made myself a custom, little bit of a custom logo, because my Photoshop's trial expired and I was supposed to pay for it today, but shit happens. But anyways, let's go ahead and type in, let's go ahead and fill all this out. You want to uncheck these two right here. Allow derivation from this product, and allow inclusion of in third-party bundles. Heartburn. Alright, so we're going to do the product name. Mine is Broken Chains Dubstep. Choose the rating. If it's too vulgar or a lot of cussing in it or anything like that, any sexual activity going on in there, it's access pass, common sense. This is general audience. I would not put your profit more than 500. Yeah, I would not go any higher than 500. I know you guys want to make money, but just keep on grinding out, and then eventually you'll get some customers in, and they'll start giving you some income. Alright, so there's my picture right there that I just set out for it. Let's check one more time just to make sure that it's 17 triggers, and it is, so we are good. Yeah, I could have just looked right here. Alright, tags. I always be sure to put the artist in the tag so they get credit as well. I always put my name too. We're gonna do Broken Chains, metal, heavy metal, dubstep, metal step. We're gonna do EDM, headbang, and why not trap? Trap and glitch, rocker, guitar, stuff like that. I mean, and after that, you're pretty much good to go. You submit it to the shop. After you do this, you'll see that your credits go away after you pay for it, and then a pop-up should happen that will take you right to your product, and then all you do is you can preview it right here, and you click here to publish it, and that's all there is to it. It goes through peer review, people rate it, and then you get it in. So I appreciate you guys watching this video, taking the time. If you have any questions that you might stumble upon, feel free to message me. My IMVU name is Skorge again, and or you could just leave a comment below, and I'll try to get to it as soon as I can. But other than that, I'm really happy that I could help. Best of luck to you guys, and remember, just keep on practicing until you get the flow of cutting by beat, and eventually over time you'll get there. And hopefully you'll be taking in some requests. Definitely be sure to charge some requests and get some of those customers in as well, and that'll help you get even more profit. So until next time, I will catch you lovelies later. Peace out.